Welcome back. This is the last video for the day. But R. Kelly, I don't like what he was accused of and what he was convicted of. But I had no idea that they convicted him on Rico racketeering charge. How does one person do that? Rico is for a criminal organization. He is convicted on Rico of one. So apparently they're gonna have to drop that. So he may get a reduction in the sentence as he should. Because how do you do a Rico of one? He wasn't with nobody else. They did railroad him on that one. So R. Kelly says Rico indictment alleges an enterprise of one. R. Kelly took a swing at the top court of his federal indictment, top count of his federal indictment, accusing the government of trying to push sexual assault allegations that are too old to prosecute. So he's saying there's a statute of limitations. Mm. Did I? He took a swing. Okay. Wow, what else happened to that? Okay, let me go to, what was that, November 5th. And that's all I had on that. I thought I had way more on that. I might have made a mistake and accidentally deleted. R. Kelly's lawyer told the appeals court that all kinds of legitimate organizations, even college fraternities, could be deemed racketeering organizations under a law used to convict R&B singer R. Kelly at his Brooklyn trial of sexually abusing young fans, including children, for decades. Attorney Jennifer Bonjean, seeking to reverse his 2021 convictions or to win him a new trial, tried to persuade three judges on the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Manhattan that prosecutors improperly used a racketeering statute written to shut down organized crime to go after the singer. I agree. A Rico or one, have y'all ever heard of such a thing? She said it wasn't fair that prosecutors charged Kelly, 57, with leading a racketeer influence and corrupt organization enterprise from 1994 to 2018, comprised of individuals who promoted his music and recruited women and girls to engage in illegally sexual activity and to produce child pornography. This was not a collection of people who had a purpose to recruit girls for sexual abuse or child pornography, whether they turned a blind eye, whether some of them suspected that some of these girls were underage. That's a whole different matter. And once we get into this sort of territory where we're going to say that it constitutes a RICO enterprise, where we have a lot of organizations, we have a lot of frat houses, we have all types of organizations that are now going to become RICO enterprises. She said in support of the Grammy winning multi platinum selling songwriter. The judges did not immediately rule, but they have plenty of questions for Bonjean and a prosecutor who defended the government's handling of the case, which resulted in a 30-year prison sentence in 2022. Assistant U.S. Attorney Kayla Vincing said Kelly's network of aides and employees were part of the singer's system in place that lured young people into his orbit before he took over their lives. At trial, several women testified that they were ordered to sign non disclosure forms and were subjected to threats and punishments such as violent spankings if they broke what one referred to Rob's rules. Some of the judges questioned whether the employees knew that Kelly's illegal activities with teenage girls. What evidence is there that staff who arranged these things knew that they were underage, asked Circuit Court Judge Denny Ching. The prosecutor responded by citing numerous instances of testimony, including one in which a woman testified that she told a member of Kelly's entourage that she was 16 when he asked her age. Others knew some girls were not yet 18 because they booked flights for them and the girls had to provide their birth dates. So this is all the evidence that the jury was entitled to infer that Kelly's inner circle knew what was going on, that he was recruiting and maintaining underage women for sexual activity. Members of the enterprise heard Kelly beat his girlfriends. They knew that Kelly was isolating his victims and they helped him do it, including by enforcing his punishments, such as watching over them while they were confined to a bus for prolonged periods of time, she added. Kelly born Robert Kelly, is known for work including 1996 I Believe I Can Fly and cult classic Trapped in a Closet. He was adored by legions of fans and sold millions of albums even after allegations about abuse of young girls began circulating in the 1990s. He was acquitted of child pornography charges in Chicago in 2008, but a second trial in Chicago in 2022 ended with his conviction on charges of producing child pornography and enticing girls for sex. Widespread outrage over Kelly's sexual misconduct didn't emerge until the Me Too reckoning, reaching a crescendo after the release of the documentary Surviving R. Kelly. So we're going to do this rather quickly because I got to get out of here. But it looked good.
You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say, the number one listening show, where we discuss real issues with Rico Enterprise using his music career as a front to facilitate illegal activities. As a way to prove the enterprise theory, prosecutors allege that his employees and associates were complicit in enabling and executing these crimes. However, it's essential to take a closer and more critical look at the roles these individuals played within the structure of his music business before concluding that they were in any way a part of an illegal enterprise that facilitated anything criminal. In any major music business, especially with high-profile celebrities like R. Kelly, employees have specific and often demanding responsibilities. These include managing schedules, booking and organizing tours, arranging travel and accommodations, coordinating with record labels, and ensuring that the day-to-day operations of the artist's career run smoothly. For a high-profile artist like R. Kelly, who enjoyed global fame, the pressure and scale at which these tasks are done was immense. His team was no different, comprised of professionals whose expertise contributed to maintaining his public image and the commercial success of his music business. To suggest that these routine professional tasks were part of a coordinated criminal enterprise is therefore a significant leap from justice to a fictitious attempt to frame the R&B king as a head of a criminal gang that never existed. The defense therefore argues that the actions of these employees should be viewed within the context of their job descriptions and industry norms, rather than being automatically linked to allegations of illegal behavior they were not a part of. According to attorney Jennifer Bonjean, it's crucial to distinguish between legitimate business operations and alleged criminal activities. R. Kelly's music career spanned decades, producing chart-topping hits and winning multiple awards. Managing an artist of his stature required a vast support network of managers, assistants, promoters, drivers, and many others completing tasks as simple as packing his bags, among others. Each member of his team, in fact, had specific responsibilities that were integral to the success of his career. For instance, a manager's primary focus would be securing lucrative contracts and scheduling appearances, while a personal assistant might ensure that his wardrobe and travel plans were in order. These roles, though essential, were completely separate from Robert Kelly's personal life and alleged misconduct. However, prosecutors argue that these employees were not just passive participants in his business but active enablers of illegal activities, which is far-fetched. According to the prosecution, employees facilitated inappropriate encounters, managed logistics that were allegedly linked to criminal behavior, and turned a blind eye to warning signs. But this is all concocted a story to frame his team as a criminal enterprise without proof.
What I am saying, Your Honor, is that the government had an obligation, and in fact, the jury was instructed that the government had to prove the theory of the enterprise. The theory of the enterprise included criminal conduct that was pled in the conjunctive. And if it had been just simply legal activity pled in that indictment, it would have been dismissed.
Wow.
The staff knew the age. Sometimes the staff booked the travel arrangements for them.
I think if you look closely at the record, you will see that the government was very clever, frankly, of conflating these issues where I do not believe there was any evidence that a employee booked travel for someone who was in fact under the age of consent. So you have to remember that in Illinois, the age of consent is 17. It only becomes a federal crime if it's being videotaped. Now, do these people know what's happening in the bedroom? No. There is no evidence that
Wasn't there evidence that the staff made sure that in his backpack he had his iPad and recording? The evidence doesn't show that?
It shows that people picked up his luggage. I mean, people pick up my luggage. I pick up other people's luggage. Am I responsible for what's in that luggage?
No.
This narrative
raises
a fundamental question whether someone simply performing their profession unknowingly becomes part of a criminal enterprise. For it proved that these individuals knowingly participated in a criminal scheme, then the claim of a criminal enterprise falls apart. Moreover, an enterprise must have a purpose that extends beyond the criminal acts themselves. Prove that these individuals knowingly participated in a criminal scheme, then the claim of a criminal enterprise falls apart.
Video? Oh, I do gotta let that finish. My bad. I thought this was okay. Let me let
Prove
this
that
finish.
these individuals knowingly participated in a criminal scheme, then the claim of a criminal enterprise falls apart. Moreover, an enterprise must have a purpose that extends beyond the criminal acts themselves. In cases involving organized crime such as the mafia, the enterprise's goal might include generating income through illegal means like drug trafficking or extortion. But Kelly's defense maintained that the management of his career as a singer, songwriter, and performer was the central purpose of his professional network, and that the fact that crimes are alleged to have occurred does not automatically transform a legitimate enterprise into a criminal one under Rico. Now listen.
You're making a legal argument that a Rico enterprise has to have an illegal purpose, as well as that here an illegal purpose was charged, but there was insufficient evidence of it.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. That is precisely right.
And I want to understand, in light of Turquette, why we have to find an illegal purpose as well. I mean, there's language in Satinwood, and most of the cases that have been cited and discussed are in the context of a fraudulent purpose.
Attorney Jennifer Bonjean was accurate and precise in her argument, and any appealed judge who was listening objectively should have been effectively enlightened on this matter. This brings us to the second element, the pattern of racketeering activity. The prosecution must demonstrate not only that multiple crimes occurred, but also that these crimes were related and part of an ongoing scheme.
Oh, sure.
Importantly, isolated incidents or sporadic illegal acts by one man are not sufficient to establish a pattern under Rico.
Facts.
The acts must show a continuity of criminal behavior either through repeated conduct over a substantial period, or a clear threat of future criminal acts. Here the defense successfully challenged the characterization of Kelly's alleged actions as a coordinated pattern of racketeering activity. Were these incidents truly connected in a way that constitutes a criminal scheme? Or were they isolated allegations involving one or different individuals, times, and circumstances? If the latter is true, then the prosecution's case under Rico weakens significantly. Another critical aspect to consider is intent. For Rico to apply, the alleged enterprise must have been driven by a criminal purpose. If the primary purpose of Kelly's professional network was to support his music career than any criminal activity, even if proven, because Rico was never intended to target individuals whose legitimate businesses or careers became tainted by criminal allegations against their boss. It's rather designed to combat organizations whose very existence revolves around illegal conduct, or call them enterprises rooted in crime. Let's take a moment to consider the broader implications of applying Rico in this case. Historically, Rico has been used to take down mafia families, drug cartels, and large-scale criminal organizations. Applying it to an individual musician's career raises serious questions about the potential for prosecutorial overreach. Is the government stretching the bounds of this law to secure a conviction against R. Kelly? Or does the evidence genuinely support the existence of an enterprise rooted in crime as a common purpose? The defense has also pointed out that conflating Kelly's alleged personal misconduct with the actions of his professional network risks setting a dangerous precedent. If every celebrity or public figure accused of wrongdoing could face RICO charges simply because they have a team of employees and associates, where does it end? Such an approach could open the door to misuse of the statute in cases where it does not truly apply. Furthermore, the burden of proof in a criminal trial is always on the prosecution. They had to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Kelly's alleged enterprise had a criminal purpose and engaged in a pattern of racketeering activity, and at this they miserably failed. This is a high standard to meet, and any gaps in their evidence could be fatal to their case. In conclusion, the application of RICO in Kelly's case is far from straightforward. The defense has compelling arguments that challenge the prosecution's narrative of a criminal enterprise. By emphasizing the legitimacy of Kelly's professional network, questioning the continuity and connection of the alleged crimes, and highlighting the potential for overreach, the defense successfully dismantled the foundation of the RICO charges. Ultimately, this case underscores the importance of carefully examining the intent and function of any alleged enterprise before invoking RICO.
Wow.
The law's power lies in its ability to address true criminal organizations, but that power must be wielded responsibly and within the bounds of its original purpose. The prosecution did not meet this burden in R. Kelly's case. But one thing is clear. The stakes are high and the implications go far beyond this individual case. That he operated a criminal enterprise using his music career as decades, producing chart-topping hits and winning multiple awards. Managing an artist of his stature required a vast support network of managers, assistants, promoters, drivers, and many others completing tasks as simple as packing his bags, among others. Each member of his team, in fact, had specific responsibilities that were integral to the success of his career. For instance, a manager's primary focus would be securing lucrative contracts and scheduling appearances, while a personal
I think this is the same thing.
Under the age of consent.
Yep, this is the same video. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you for my new subscribers. Y'all have a great day. I got to go to work now.